some point, the council is gonna get everything back, and there's gonna be on the table bids, and there's gonna be an award process that says, okay, here's the winning bid. Do we want to do this? Now, we've had a lot of meetings, we've spent a lot of effort, we may have swore and cussed at each other for a while, but we'll have gone through all that stuff, and it's still possible on that day that the council would say, you know, there's just too many unanswered questions, we ain't gonna build this building. It's a done deal. On the other hand, everything may flow easily together, people being rational people say, we're working toward deadlines, and, I mean, there's been tougher subjects than this negotiated somewhere, and they find a way to get it done. You just gotta commit yourself to let's find an answer. And if they sit down and keep hammering away, they'll find an answer. I'm confident because it has value. I mean, everything has value when you will be able to quantify the value on your side of the ledger, and Dan will quantify on his side of the ledger. For Dan, of course, having things that are, you know, that at some point he suddenly has an asset on his side of the ledger, financially means a lot to his company. And so it's not like there aren't advantages on both sides of this thing. And like I say, the hardest part, I think we'll find a number. The hardest part is how do we sell that to the rest of the world around here who probably haven't just done a lot of that or seen a lot of it. And they'll think that's the answer. And then there's a larger answer. And of course we've used, just hypothetically, we've used the numbers that we know of that we see from the state of Minnesota with the DEED program and MIF. They generally have, there's one program that has for pretty low to moderate income type of people, and a lot of retraining and jobs and stuff like that, not high-end jobs. They'll loan to the city or give the city a grant for maybe $10,000 a job. You know, so if a guy's Eric's going to start a company up and he's going to have 5 people, they'll come through with $50,000 toward the project. Okay. On the other hand, they got another program that's more high-end and requires some more steps, but they would, for those same 5 jobs, they'd give them $20,000. So now you got $100,000 to do your project. So those are the examples, and certainly we can go to communities that have probably done this before, where they've tried to figure out, and you know, to some degree, and we haven't talked about whether we ought to, the community could offer as a counter instead of going that route. This is in a Job Z zone, so there are benefits that you potentially could offer there. Now, we're pretty close to the end of Job Z, and if the wrong politician gets in, it'll probably be a lot closer to that end, I don't know. But there certainly are, you know, there's some benefits you'd have to analyze to do that. But they would be fairly strong for a company like this, at least the building of it. So you've got some tools on your side that you can at least offer.
Another question related to the financing thing. What is the relationship between the current $500,000 loan that the city has extended and the rest of this package?
Good question.
How is that all going to get?
As I've been working at it right now, and this certainly is subject to change, our conversation has simply always been, he intends to repay the $500,000. And so we've just kind of kept talking about how do we analyze this part. Now, could those two be brought together? Certainly they could, and maybe they should. I don't know if there's advantages to him as a company, tax advantages to retiring debt or not. So he'll have to, you know, you've got to analyze through, would he be better off doing that, or is he going to get nicked for the city forgiveness type thing? I just don't know the answer to that. But the understanding always has been, this is not in addition to suddenly, oh, you forgive this and you do this. No. It's been, the loan will be repaid, and this is the deal over here on the building. And as far as I know, that's what we've been talking about. Could the two be brought together? They certainly could, but it would be a net of the two and not the two added together, I don't think.
Okay, and
they should work together.
The $500,000 won't be be paid before,
Yeah, or something like that, or he agrees.
or will it?
Well, it'll start when you think it's-
Interest, on February 1, and then, in about 2 months, then starts principal and interest.
So,
Oh, I see, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So
so
turns
it's
out-
on that,
yeah.
that schedule, that revolving flood loan
Right.
schedule
Yeah.
that we're somewhat familiar with. Okay,
And I'm sure that that preliminary occupancy on February 2, getting his business kicked into high gear is just gonna make it easier for him to pick up that $500,000.
well,
Well, and we still have the qualifier, you know, that you'd want before you actually awarded a bid, that you want to make sure that he has succeeded at phase 1 of his contractual arrangements and is moving on to phase 2, because otherwise, if that ain't happening, there's no reason to have a building. So, I mean, to me, these things are all sort of floating and coming together, and some float a little longer to give you time to figure out the right answer. A rush to judgment on something may get you stuck, and you'll never get and be ready to do the next step when you need to. That's the hard part, I think. But I think there's enough safeguards built in here on both sides. He has to see a document he likes to sign. You have to see proof that you want to have a document for him to sign. And, you know, to me, that seems like the way you ought to keep approaching it.
and the financials and other pro forma documents that would normally be accepted, will be provided?
I would think that before you had a lease signing, you know, you want to check out your lessor and make sure he's gonna repay and do whatever your terms that you end up with, and how is he gonna project that out, what's his contractual arrangements with what's his sales potential, some of it guaranteed, some of it probably projected, but I'm sure there'll be, I shouldn't speak for him, but I'm sure there'll be contracts in place that you wanna see and make sure they're there, so that there's a reality of he's gonna make 10 widgets and he's gonna sell them and he's gonna get some money, and so we should get repaid, you know. I think it'll be pretty much a straight banking relationship at that point, where you would apply your normal evaluation of the stuff, and I think, can't remember, did we come to the conclusion that this will be a business subsidy that will have to have a hearing, or not? Or will we?
If it involves TIF, definitely.
Yeah, so there'll probably be more hearings that you'd have to have that will, you know, result in more things that have to be brought out, but.
It would probably just be a good idea.
But I think.
This would be, we're talking single site TIF?
Yes.
Okay,
At least that's the way he explained it to me, that he wanted it.
okay.
Explain that to me when you say single site.
Well, we're not gonna take like a
We
big
have
area.
A whole block downtown, for instance, or several blocks
Right.
downtown, we're just talking about this
Lot
3.51 acres.
The laws have changed, so that doesn't make sense anymore because of the term of the TIF. You have to get projects started, like within 5 years. So if you wouldn't get all the projects started, then you'd have to go through a procedure to change the TIF.
So the industrial park is a TIF district right now? It is
No.
not, but
You'd have to
individual
describe it,
project
set it
can
up.
be within the industrial.
That's why I say it takes 2 months to do all the, possibly all the official stuff you gotta do to get that set up, notices, et cetera.
But by making it a single site and the project starts, we've satisfied the TIF district rules that you're talking about.